Aloha, I'm Kala'i Miller, and welcome to Home is Here. We are enjoying the view of the majestic Ko'olau Mountains from Heʻeia. A century ago, nearly this entire valley was used for growing taro. Today, a nonprofit is working to restore these loʻi kalo while also churning out a staple in Hawaiian food and culture.
Kako'iwi is an educational nonprofit. We are located in Ko'olaupoko on Oahu, in the Ahupua'a of Heʻeia, and our land base is about 406 acres that we lease from the state. Our main crop that we grow here is taro, or kalo. There's photographs from the 1920s of the entire basin in taro production. At the peak of taro production here in Heʻeia, there were, I believe, 3 poi mills in operation. One of the goals here for us is to, we look at those old aerial photographs from this place, and that's one of the guiding documents that we use to look at what areas we want to develop next, and if we can even get back to a fraction of what was here before. Aloha, my name is Nick Rapoon. I'm one of the farm managers here, and this is Kako'iwi. And right now we're standing in front of Opunui. This is our value-added processing center, and this part of the building is our poi mill. We generally would cook our taro the day before we make poi, come in the morning, we start at 6 a.m., open this thing up, and start our process. So from the steamer here, we'll unload burlap bags of kalo. That kalo gets put into our cleaning trough. So when the kalo comes out of the steamer, it's like this. It's got the skin on it. First step is we do our rough clean, and that just involves going by hand and removing the skin till it's all clean. Once we've got the skin off, we usually rinse everything down, and then we'll come and do our fine clean with the spoon. And mostly we're looking at taking out any of these leftover pieces of skin, little root eyes, and any other things that are gonna basically create a unwanted flavor or texture in our poi. Once the kalo is cleaned sufficiently, it goes dropped into the trough here, comes down to the end of our line. So once the kalo is clean, it comes down to our cutting table here, where we're cutting the kalo down to size for the mill, but we're also checking the inside of the corm for any other little bits of rot that might be in there or any other imperfections. We're also looking for starch quality as well. And so this is kind of our final quality control stage. Once we have a full bucket, then we'll transfer that over to the mill. This is our mill. We basically just feed the kalo through here, and it runs through one time into the bowl, and once it's all ground, then it goes onto our mixer. When we're mixing in the water here, we use ice water, because when it comes out of the mill, it's actually the machine makes it pretty hot, and that warm temperature is good for all of those microbes that are in there to sour the poi. If that poi sours too fast, then it's not going to be as ono. Once the mixing is done, then it goes onto the bagging table where everything gets packaged and labeled and ready for sale. This is the way that I was taught by my family to bag. As you can see, we do it by hand. I like doing it this way because it allows you to, kind of do one final quality control, make sure the poi is that right texture. Something that we pride ourselves on is having a nice quality and nice thick poi. We bag it up, and once it's all bagged, we can box it up and get it ready for our customers. So actually, one of our biggest partners right now is the Hawaii Food Bank, and they pick up poi pretty regularly from us, and they give it out in their food distributions. Today, actually, most of this kalo is gonna go to a lot of the Kamehameha School preschools. So we're one of their partner organizations that's helping to, basically they're trying to give poi to the preschool students that they can take home and feed their families, share with their families. The poi making process has changed a lot over the years, from the traditional method of board and stone and hand pounding. I feel like we're kind of in between, like a fully modern mechanized thing, but we still do a fair amount of the process by hand, which I think is important for quality standards too. When you grow taro, the best test for the quality of the taro that you're growing is to make poi, because the better quality taro you have, the more poi that you can make. This space here, Kako'iwi, is really important for our community. Anywhere that we can preserve spaces for the growing of food is incredibly important. It's I believe, a very human activity to cultivate food for your own consumption. I think it's super rewarding. Whether you're a kid or you're already grown, it's never too late to start your Aloha Aina journey of just being a good steward of our land and taking care of the resources that take care of us.